look at it, because when I went to close it, you know, you always look at the lock bar. So now say I'm cutting. Look where it is now. See that? Do it again. That's where it is. Push. Now that's where it is. I'll do it again so you know I'm not doing any camera tricks. Flick it. What's up, guys? I wasn't going to make any more videos because I realized I sucked at it, but this knife here I just got, and it made me realize why I actually started this channel. And it's not to say anybody's lying or anything like that, but it's to get to the truth of the matter of these knives so you know what to buy. I will tell you right off the bat, as the title says, do not buy this knife. And I will tell you why. I have no problem with steel will. Well, I'm starting to have a problem with them. This knife right here is one of the best knives I own. The craftsmanship, or I should say the workmanship is beautiful on this knife. This is a beautiful knife. I will get to this later. I had bought the 1551 Gecko. This is the 1551 Gecko. And loved it so much, and then when they came out with the budget knives, I bought the Cutjack. I have no problem with this knife. I took it apart like I take most knives apart, though I haven't taken the 1551 apart. There was no reason. And I polished the washers on it and threw some nano oil in it, and this thing is buttery smooth. I mean, it feels like it's on washers. It's fantastic. I have no complaints. No blade play. Either way, perfect centering. Excellent, excellent, excellent budget knife. If you're looking for a budget knife, you really can't go wrong with this. The only complaint I would have, only one, is the raised embossing. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're billboarding. It's raised up. It will catch on things, even lint. If you're rubbing it on your blanket to clean off your fingerprints, you know, it's aggressive. Here, so I don't know. For some reason, that just bothers me. That's just a minor complaint. Who gives a shit, really? So you have that beautiful knife. So then I had seen, or like I said originally, I think I said it, that last year when they announced the Cutjacks and everything, they had announced this knife. They didn't come out with it until just now, this year. And in the process, between that time, they came out with the cheaper versions. They came out with the G10 ones first, which are more expensive. I think $140. I have no idea on those. Then they came out with these, like the budget ones, like the Cutjacks. And I said, well, let me get one of those, but they only had blue and green. So I bought this from the website, and it was $74 as opposed with shipping, as opposed to $41, which you can even get this for $40 now because they actually have it available, but they didn't have it available online at the time. I just bought it because these are the colors. I was impatient, and I paid the price. I don't know if they gave me a factory second or not, but it has a crappy detent. Hear that? And it has a lock bar that just feels really weak. I've had some Chinese knives, like with the fake titanium or the titanium alloy, that feel this weak. Shirogorov duplicate, what are they called? Knockoffs. And that's the way it feels. I haven't had a problem with it, per se, but it just feels weak. So, you know, when you know your knives and you have a bunch of knives, you know there's an issue. And then the biggest thing is the blade play. I have to tighten this down to the point where it's ridiculous to get the blade play to stop. And that's what bothers me about it. As far as flicking and everything, awesome. As far as the knife design, feel in hand, usability, awesome knife. But it has some QC problems. And it's annoyed me for that reason, you know. Even as much as I like it, and I have used this knife a lot. I use it at work, on overtime, cutting boxes, all that kind of stuff with what I have to do with overtime. And it works fine. I mean, a great knife. I have it razor sharp. And I noticed I have a nick in it right here. I wonder where I did that. But it's still a great knife. But it has a lot of issues. So I was like, all right, whatever. You know, maybe it's because they sent me a factory second, whatever. So finally, to get to the point of the video, this one comes out. I ordered it. I had problems with, you're going to notice it doesn't look like the normal one. I noticed it seemed like it was way too shiny here, you know. And then they had the normal G10 sides where it's ground down or beveled. And I had a problem with the G10 backspacer. I was going to put this one in this, you know, because this is aluminum. I was going to put that in here. That was my plan. So I ordered this knife. I had also noticed I thought it was a little thicker than this one, which it may not look it. Yeah, it does look it. And it is. So I was like, oh, the handle's boxier. And so I didn't expect much out of this knife when I got it. I was, you know, because I knew I wanted the Modus longer, bigger blade, and I knew this handle was going to be a little thicker than this one. This handle is perfect. But I got it, and sure enough, the shiny sides were a problem. It made it feel like cheap-ass plastic, really. I have the, I wish I brought that. I didn't bring that over here. I have the Cold Steel GoldenEye, and I have the carbon fiber one, and that thing is amazing. Beautiful carbon fiber, and just a great, perfect knife. The way they did it, except for the golden nipple ring there. You got to take that out because that'll chew your finger up like a shark. That's another story. But so I realized this made it feel real cheap, and I also noticed that it was harder to pull the lock bar over. And I was like, why is that? Well, the reason is, if you look, I have to open them. You could see how much is showing on that one. And then you look at this one. Even if I turn it like that, for people to say, oh, it's the angle. Look, that's completely sideways. See what I'm getting at? See that? See that? See there how much? So this, you have easier purchase on it. This one you have to struggle with. Not a big deal. That's really not a big deal. But the shiny sides were a problem, and this added to it, and it does kind of chew your thumb up. You can see it's really chewing my thumb up. I have a callous thumb. But what finally got me, it was dirty and everything. I took it apart, and it's really got great action. It's not fully centered. You can see that. I couldn't center it, and I'm pretty good at centering knives. Sharp was fine, and like I said, it really snaps out. You can see that. I'm a push buttoner, and I can light switch, but I mean like the push button, and man, it just flies out now with nano oil on it. Here is the issue of this knife that finally puts the nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? So we have Lockup. This is with flicking it. So that's where it is. A little less than halfway. Now I was eating pepperoni and cheese and drinking wine, cutting that shit. That's all I did, and I just happened to look at it, because when I went to close it, you know, you always look at the lock bar. So now say I'm cutting. Look where it is now. See that? Do it again. That's where it is. Push. Now that's where it is. I'll do it again so you know I'm not doing any camera tricks. Flick it. That's where it is. Push. That's where it is. That sucks. For 180 bucks, having to sand it to get the feel right so that it's an actual good, which I think I did a damn good job. Does this one do it? Let's find out. That's where it is. Push. Yes, it does do it. I don't think it did it as much. No, it might not have done it. That's where it is. No, that one didn't do it. And the Cutjack. Let's give it a flick. Let's give it a normal flick. How about another one? So we're looking at there. Yep, Cutjack does it too. But they don't do it as much. They move a little bit. This one, a little less than half. And then it goes all the way over to the other side. So don't waste your money on this knife. They have not gotten the, they haven't gotten it right. You know, I still like it, but now, you know, when you pay that much for a knife, and you're a knife guy, that's gonna break your heart. Will I sell it? No, I really don't sell my knives because I don't know anybody that will give me what they're worth. Although, I might just throw this one in the river. Since I mean, literally, this one is better quality, even though it has a couple other extra issues. Like this lock bar doesn't really cause as much problems. It does flip out with, it used to flip out with more authority. And it doesn't move over as much. Just a little bit. So what do I do with this thing? I beat the shit out of it is what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll cut up some rocks, you know? So that is the point of my channel here. And I hope this was informative and not insulting to people. And you got something out of it. I do not recommend this knife. For the price you're going to pay, it just does not have the quality. Oh, and I never got to this knife. This knife has all the quality you want. It's way more expensive. I mean, look, they even polished the inside. You have rounded liners. Look at the roundedness. This knife is a work of art. Rounded back spine. You want to talk about glass smooth? 10 times smoother than a Sebenza, okay? I haven't done anything to this knife, and it is just, when they talk about glass, that's glass. So if you want to buy a good steel wheel, look into the Gecko line. Doesn't matter which one, I don't think. I even have a fixed blade, and it's beautiful. I was thinking of getting the 1509, which is the black washed, full size with G10 handles, like these are G10. Ow. And razor sharp, just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful knife. And I'm pretty sure all the Geckos are like that. These newer versions, they're flippers. Buyer beware. Cutjack, again, never had a problem with it, and I don't know anybody that does. So that's what I have to say on the issue. Main point, do not buy this knife until you hear otherwise. And I don't mean somebody that says, oh, it's a great knife. I mean somebody that says it used to suck and now it's better. So I hope that helps everybody. Have a good night.